Good afternoon and welcome to 802 Scoop, 185 North Main Street in Barrie. It's freaking cold. That's all I have to say about it. It's freaking cold. I made a post this morning though, and I thought it was cold at home. But some of the temps that people have posted that they were experiencing at their house it's not even funny.
Like the high teens, like 15, 17 below. Yeah.
Like horribleness. Yeah, that does deserve a bell because it was just terrible.
And it's only December.
I know.
It's the first week of December and we're below zero.
And tomorrow, snow.
Yeah,
So,
another couple of inches of snow tomorrow.
a little bit here and there. So today we welcome Eddie Rousse, and Eddie is here to talk about the Barrie Rotary, what you all do, and some things that you've got going on and you may need help with.
Yeah.
So we'll turn it over to you so that you can do all that good jazz.
Oh, you don't get to introduce Jeff too?
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows, yeah.
Everybody knows Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So well, Jeff was just up to the BOR concession stand because he said, "I'll help you out, Eddie." So it was a couple of years ago. Nicholas Storella Castro, the city manager, after a BADC meeting, said, "Hey, Eddie, do you think Rotary would like to run the concession stand at the BOR?" And Tony and I actually looked at each other because I'm like, "Well, I could do that with my eyes closed." You know, I went to hotel restaurant management school, and not that I need anything else on my plate, but the fact that it hadn't been open in quite some time, you know, and I don't go up there a lot. I used to skate there when it was open before they closed the sides, which it's fun sharing stories with people that say, "I was here when it wasn't."
When there's snow drifts on the ice because both ends are wide
you talk
open.
about cold, so you talk about the weather. So picture having it be this cold up there with no sides open and the wind blowing, and we skated up there. It was like skating down at the North Barrie Road.
The true diehards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cold, and somebody was talking about, yeah, and the locker rooms were cold, and you know they had no heat in the locker rooms there. It was just barely. So yeah, I think after COVID, and BYSA had run the concession stand for years. There's people that did that, and it just wasn't open. And I said, yeah, we'll do that. So I kind of saw it as a community service in addition to a fundraiser for Rotary, and of course. I'd never been in there, so it took a while to get the bearings and how everything, a lot of stuff there has been donated.
You're like a pro now.
I am. What'd you call me, Carlotta, the other day?
Carlotta Parnagoni, hey.
So, you know, I learned as we go here, so for example, Punker Burns from Capital Candy, and he's been involved with that for years. A lot of the equipment that's up there was donated by Punker Burns, and he's donated product up there. And so we have an account with Capital Candy, we have an account with McCauley's, we have an account with Hibbert and McGee, because not all the suppliers have the same thing.
Right.
You got to go around. And the framework that we decided upon with the Lords of Rotary, if you will, are that, because you know, Rotary, it's a fundraiser, right? Well, what does Rotary do with money when we make money? We give it away. We give away quite a bit of money, and to local organizations. We do the Pie for Breakfast at the Legion. We set aside $10,000, and there's an application process for that particular grant program. And we have a committee that decides whether they get that. I think the maximum is $500 per entity on that particular program.
Yeah.
And so so as I've gotten into it, I said, well, I still personally believe it's a community service because you've been up to the BOR. If there's a game going on and the concession's not open,
People get ugly.
it's a bad look for Barrie. I mean, you know, they come down from Newport, Middlebury, St. Albans. We've got games this weekend. So Friday Night Lights is Black Bear hockey. So just a little backup. This was news to me. So there's no longer BYSA hockey. BYSA still exists.
Right.
But it's now an organization called Black Bear Hockey, which incorporates Barrie, Northfield, Waterbury, Berlin, Montpelier, because there just wasn't enough organization for those communities to have their own hockey system league.
Right.
And there's this Black Bear Hockey. So that was news to me. I said, okay, because I asked people, I said, where are you from? I said, well, you know, just Waterbury. And it's, oh, okay, you live, yeah, we live.
And it's not segregated either. You could have Waterbury, Northfield, Berry kids all on one team.
Yeah.
They mix it. They balance their teams out.
Yeah. Not only that, this guy, because I like to talk to people, so this guy says, yeah, we're from New Hampshire. And I go, oh, I thought we were just playing like a house league today type thing. Well, we are, but my daughter, he goes, my friend's daughter is from New Hampshire. So it's almost, so it's like school choice. You can go wherever you want to go. So there's girls that play, when you've got the tiers, it's like U11, under 11.
So that's 11 and under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the bigger guys.
Yeah.
And so Friday, yeah.
It's like AAU basketball.
Exactly.
But Friday nights is a really big deal to them
It is a
because they
big,
do
big
do
thing.
the strobe lights and
So-
everything.
Yeah.
I've learned. So we were running the concession stand. Okay, so when do we open? It's like, well, you kind of want to be open when there's a game. Well, when are the games? Okay, well, obviously we're doing all the Spalding games, all the Spalding girls and boys games. And now I'm learning more about Black Bear hockey and the Friday night lights. And so, we're open from 7:30 to 9 on Friday nights. And then Black Bear also has the ice on Saturday and Sunday mornings, typically 9 to about 2:30, depending. So
Yeah.
I finally got, for example, Michelle LeBurge, who forwarded me this morning the schedule, because I don't know if there's a game or a practice. Well, there ain't nobody up there if there's a practice, and there's no sense in being open
Right.
if it's just a practice. And
Right.
so we're working it out, and we need volunteers. And so the way we're working the volunteers is that I've created some relationships with organizations like the Lions Club and the Kiwanis Club and Granite City. It's Granite Center Garden Club.
Oh, yeah.
The Granite Center Garden. I keep wanting to say Granite City Garden Club, but it's the Granite Center Garden Club. And they're the group that takes care of our gardens around the town.
Yep.
And so they were helping out across from my office on 103 South Main, the Reynolds house. There's 3 little plots there, and
Yeah, in that parking
Yeah.
lot, the city parking lot.
it's
Yeah.
it's technically owned by the city, I guess.
Yes.
Of course, Kyle Rinker had his mobile station there years ago, and so, you sit at that light and you see these garden plots, and they should be. That wasn't on their list, but I got them
Yeah.
to now just spruce those up a little bit. So we were working out there, and they had this old bucket that was broken or dilapidated, and I said, hey, if you guys want to volunteer at the BOR concession, we might give you some money to get a new bucket for you.
Uh-huh.
And they said, well, what's that? Because they're volunteer already minded people. And so Jeff Mayer and Allison Flint and a few others, John Santarello, they met as a committee, and then they've come up to volunteer, and I've trained them. So you have to train when you come to the BOR concession, and
I got a crash course
Yeah.
the other night.
You did,
Yes.
yeah.
well,
Warning.
even
Right?
Jeff can do it. So,
Mr. Rousse took me through everything.
it's one of those things where once you go through it once, it's like you can
Yeah.
do it with your
Well,
eyes closed.
what is it that you do? What do you provide? Coffee?
Yeah, so how to make a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
It'll take you 95 seconds to teach you how to do that.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like opening a door. You'll never forget. It's an unconscious competence, they say. So we serve coffee, not decaf. We've had one call for decaf
There you go,
in
honey.
3 years.
Hey,
Yep.
that's-
We're good.
But we do serve tea. It's actually, I don't think we have decaf. I could get decaf tea. That's what I should get. Just in case somebody asks. Hot chocolate. And so there's a hot chocolate machine there that is pretty easy to run. You put the cup under and you press the button for 12 seconds.
And cappuccino.
And cappuccino, vanilla cappuccino.
There you go.
We have a popcorn machine, and so we have fresh popped popcorn, and there's a way to make that without milking the place out. When you do that, we have candy bars, and we have pretzels.
Yep.
And so there's a different.
Nachos.
We have nachos. There's a way to make the pretzels. It's a salted pretzel, and those go pretty well. And we can give the pretzels with a side of the nacho cheese sauce if you'd like as well. We have an account with Pepsi, so we have all the beverages and water and some airheads and different types of candy, and that's pretty much it. It's a turnkey operation.
And the big thing is the concession area. So you have the concession itself, the kitchen area, but then the concession area is heated.
Yes. So again, when there's
Oh, well, that's nice. That's an incentive right
Yeah.
there.
wow, I know it's so funny. So we actually also have hand warmers. That's been we've started to sell hand warmers and sold out the other day. Just ordered another box today, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. So yeah, it's funny because okay, let me just keep going. So Interact is the high school version of Rotary. So there's at Spalding High School there's an Interact club, and so we come down and
I was a member of that in high school
yeah, there's Interact.
back in the 1970s.
Is that what it was, Jeff? It's still
Somebody
going.
keeps reminding me of that.
It's still going, and so I go into the Interact meeting that they have for like 22 minutes. You know, it's like a mod or between periods, and now the kids at Spalding have to have community service hours. So this kind of coincides with that because they want to meet. It's a graduation requirement. So, hey, would you like to get your community service hours in? Come volunteer at the BOR concession, and what we've developed is a worksheet each night that keeps track of the volunteers and the organization they represent, Granite Center Garden Club, Spalding High School, Lions Club. Paula Dolan has donated a lot of her time. She's with Kiwanis. And so we keep track of the hours worked, and at the end of the season, if we make a profit, which under my regime we will, and we have, we share the profits with those entities that have volunteered.
Yeah.
So I just kind of reached out to Spalding today because I actually haven't been able to make a meeting. Tony had gone over, and I reached out. There's it used to be Margot Austin, and there's 2 new people there, and I sent them an email and said, I reminded them that we gave over $1,300 to Spalding last year. We had a student who put a lot of time in there. He actually ended up going to the New England Culinary Institute.
Really?
So he was into it,
Good.
and he wasn't in Interact. So we made a donation on behalf of the Project Grad for the efforts that he did because he went to Spalding, and so there was $600 we sent to Project Grad for that. So it's an opportunity to provide a little community service, and if you have an entity that you want to represent, then we would make a donation to them because when Rotary makes money, we just give it away, pretty much.
Nice. Good stuff. So if somebody wants to volunteer, what do they do? Just reach out to you?
Well, it's funny. So Jeff and I were just looking. So I got to put up a sign up there. So if you're interested in volunteering and supporting this community service, contact me, Eddie Rousse, and I provide my phone number, 802-272-3088. And so people text me and my email address. And then on our website, BarryVermontRotary.org, BarryVTRotary.org, is an event. You would go to events, and there's ways to sign up on that as well.
Good.
And I'll make a post, like a solid post after
Yeah.
to put it out there for you, because if I put it in the comments, it'll just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nobody sees those comments anyway.
Right. Well,
Thousands
not
and
true.
thousands.
You should go back and if people do comment, you should always look, because
Oh, okay.
sometimes people will ask questions that they don't ask right now because
Right.
right now they're working or something. And
So I just love. You guys have been to the Granite Museum, like lately, within the last 6 months.
Not in the last 6
No.
months.
Okay. So we use the Granite Museum quite a bit. Well, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but more frequently than obviously you guys. And so just this past Saturday, we were down there because in conjunction with one of our incoming presidents, Zach DeLong, he's the lieutenant at the Salvation Army. And we, with Gary Haas and the World Santa Project, collaborate with Salvation Army and what Gary Haas has done and rewrap. I think we did 225 boxes that included a brand new, not used, winter jacket, hand knitted mittens and hats, and a book, a used book,
Oh,
in a box.
yeah.
And I should send a picture so you can post it.
Yeah.
And we did that at the Granite Museum. Now, prior to that, we did the Art Splash. So you folks are familiar with the Art Splash. It's been happening every 2 years. And that culminates with an auction that's held at the Granite Museum. All the cars and bears and monkeys and cats and dogs that people see adorned throughout the city streets get auctioned off at the Art Splash auction. So we've been there twice in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And my point is that Michelle is the person, she volunteers at the Granite Museum now. And there's a little customer gift shop when you walk in.
I heard that, yeah.
Just from the Art Splash, which was in September, to when I was just there Saturday, Michelle has made this into like a little micro business. She's got more stuff there that she's in, and it's cold in there. You know, it's like, Michelle, how can you? It was like, well, it's Saturday. I knew you guys were going to be open because you're doing the wrapping there, and I thought it'd be open. I mean, she'll literally stay open for like 1 or 2 people because this is not the Vermont Granite Museum season, if you will.
Right.
And my point is that I've run this like a little micro business. I mean, it's a concession stand. I went to school. My uncle Virgilio Bonacorsi ran the Venetian, and so you know, I know what it takes to, you know, you have to be clean and you have to re-report taxes to the state of Vermont and the products that we have. And people before me have run that concession stand for years, so this is kind of new to me.
Yeah.
But it's like a little micro business. That's my point. So I tell kids when they come in, I say, listen, we're trying to make a profit, and if we make a profit, you're going to share in the proceeds. Any organization that comes in, I say, we're trying to make a profit. You know, so there's, you know, we give you a soda or a candy bar, or hot dog. We're not slave drivers there. If you volunteer, you get to eat. Jeff gets a special one because he was one of the people that donated for the hot dog machine that we have there.
So there's a list of four guys that chipped in to buy this hot dog machine. So Rinker put a little sign up there. If any of these 4 gentlemen show up, they get 1 free hot dog.
There you go.
Yeah.
Should we mention the other 3 participants?
Oh yeah, why not? Mike Braun, Armand Maurice, and John Riley.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Carl,
We were having lunch. We get together once a while and have lunch down at Mulligan's, and we went in for lunch, and Rinker came right over to the table. That's when the Rotary was taking over the concession, and they had one of those old steamer things for hot dogs, and it needed a lot of work. So he was going to buy a new one, and he says, I'm trying to buy a new hot dog machine, and would you guys be willing to donate to it? So we each threw in $20.
Yep.
And we said, on one condition, if we're there for a game, we come into the concession, we want 1 free hot dog each.
That's well worth
he
20
jumped
bucks.
on. He jumped on that. So we've got a nice, you know, Carl. So we got a beautiful brand new hot dog rolling machine.
Yep.
The steamer's still there.
Yeah.
So for busy nights like this Saturday is the opening for Spalding Girls and Boys
Both,
Hockey.
yes, and they're both home this Saturday.
Yeah. So it'll be busy, and we'll get that going for that.
Yeah.
Just because it does between periods, people come and it's busy. But
So currently, you're only open during games.
Correct.
Not open skate or any of that stuff.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we do. So, for example, Friday Night Lights, which starts at 7:30, but I usually get there at 6 because there's public skating before it. And to Jeff's point, so it's pretty cold in there, and so this concession area, you know, people flock to it just to come out of the cold, and so there's usually people up in that area. I'm going to bring 2 stools up. I have these 2 stools. I just thought of this morning, and they're like bar stools. You know,
For older guys to sit on?
well, if they wanted to sit, you know, so like when I'm training, I can sit outside and just talk to them while they're doing that or something like that. But it's a pretty.
He's
nice,
a good trainer. He had me under control.
He did.
Yeah.
Well,
Cracking the whip.
So Tom Babbitt came, and Tom usually comes with his wife Linda.
Yeah.
But he came on Sunday, which is when Jeff came up. And Tom's worked it before, but it was a refresher for him as well. And he was writing down. For example, we have this air fryer. You know, what's that? That's an air fryer. Well, if you've never turned it on or it's just like anything. It's like, well, this is how you turn it on. And so this particular, it's digital. And so you got to press this square button, boop, and it turns on, and it defaults to 360 degrees. Okay, so don't touch the temperature, 360 is fine. And then there's a timer button. You got to press the timer button, doot, and it starts blinking, and then you got to turn the dial down to 5 or 6, about 5 or 6. It's going to go for 5 minutes because you're putting into this big tray frozen pretzels. Mm-hmm. And so 5 or 6 minutes, depending on your mood, and then you just turn it on.
Yeah.
You just press the button, and then you walk away, and it'll beep when it's done. So you got to kind of stay ahead of it as far as like, okay, we've got 2 pretzels left in the pretzel warming machine. So after they come out, I guess I should finish the procedure in case anybody's listening. So when they come out of the air fryer, you have gloves on, and you take one and you spray it with water just to moisten it up, and you dip it in salt. So they're salted pretzels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you hang them up in the pretzel warming machine.
You've probably seen one of those in,
Yeah.
stores somewhere. They have them in that little
It's a
glass
great
case, and they're
display.
spinning
It's
It's
around.
good stuff.
It's a great display because, they say, oh, you got any pretzels? There might be 3 left. And, oh, yeah, I'll take a pretzel. And so, when there's only 3 left and it's between periods, like for the Spalding game, you're going to have 25, 30 people come up. You want to get ahead of that. And I'll have to teach you guys that. But the real fun part for me so far has been working with the kids. Some of these kids have never done anything. They haven't mowed a lawn. They haven't, they haven't done any part-time painting. They haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And so to get them there, they need the community service, and they're like, wow, it's a great introduction to really what it is, dealing with the public.
And that's the thing. If you
Handling money.
like people, it's a good thing to do. It's fun. I had fun the other night.
Yeah, a couple people. You knew some people there, and
Yeah.
And it's like I said, the guy we were talking. He's like, yeah, I used to skate here when it was closed. So I'm like, oh hell, we must have played each other. Where are you from? And so we talk about that a little bit. But
Did you break your microphone?
it's
They're falling apart.
Jeff. You remember Bernie Bodeau?
Yes, I do.
So if you take the
Grew up with
history,
Bernie.
yeah, he's got a plaque up there. I
Yep.
mean, nobody took care of the BOR like Bernie did. That was like Bernie's house. I mean,
There's a few plaques up there. Over the last few years, right before I left, there was, like Andy Grandboyce, who gave like 30 some odd years helping with the high school teams, and
yeah.
I think one of the last times I was up there, they were talking about maybe having one made for Squid too, because Squid.
Did he
Squid
run
was
the
there.
Zamboni?
Yeah.
Did he?
Oh yeah. Squid worked with Rowdy for years
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Rowdy it was his passion too. So some of the people that have done it before. So Jenna Townsend, I'm working with Jenna, who's her children are in the hockey program, and she's run the concession. So the first year I learned about the Ike Lee hockey tournament. And the Ike Lee hockey tournament is a big deal. Teams from all over the state come in.
It's a whole weekend.
It's a whole weekend, and it's a big moneymaker for Black Bear hockey. Mm-hmm. So when Black Bear hockey came, and they're like, well, we do the Ike Lee, and I was like, well, we're doing the concession stand. This is I'm in charge now, and this Rotary's doing it. And so we kind of worked it out where. They were able to do that weekend and keep the proceeds on that weekend. And if we had any inventory that they use, we would just work it out. So that's coming up January 24th and 5th, or 5th and 6th.
Yeah, near the end of the season.
It's January, yeah.
Not really the end of the season, because they'll go right till the first week of March.
Yeah, they go. February's busy,
Yeah.
and then it's always contingent upon
Yeah.
if Spalding makes the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's So I'm trying to make. So Jeff and I got to make this sign, because the last part of the sign would be like, because you asked me like, well, when you open? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I'm still working that out. I'm trying to be open when there's a game and when there's people there. So we're getting really better with understanding when Black Bear has a game versus an in-house thing. No offense to the in-house, but it's just like when. They're not going to come to the concession. They're just there to pick up their kid later or something like that. But when there's people from out of town, they really, I've had people thank me literally for being open.
And I know Michelle can run you a schedule of just games. It's, you don't have to have that whole master schedule. It shows you all the practices
Right.
and figure skating practices.
Yeah, and I have that, and I picked out the Spalding game.
Yeah.
Spalding has their schedule too, and again, so I got Michelle over. Were you there? No. So Friday night, because I had a training session, and I said, hey, Michelle, you might want to why don't you come over? I've got a kid, a 14-year-old that I'm going to be training, but I think it'd be good for you to just go through once too. And so she came over and she was very appreciative. And so I said, I'm not going to ask you to volunteer. You've got your job. She's the recreation director.
Right.
Okay, but she's very helpful, and she is into what we're doing up there. And so I said, why don't you just to see, just in case I need you to come over and turn on the hot chocolate machine before I get there, or something like that. It's just little things. Like if you don't know, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Right.
But once you know, like, hey, Michelle, could you go over and turn on the hot... So I mentioned the hot chocolate machine because when we're not open, so from Sunday to Friday in this example, I turned it off because there's no sense in having it on during those days when there's nobody there. But it takes like 45 minutes to warm up. So you got to you got to turn that on before. So like in that example, I'd say, can you turn it on? I'm running late today or something like that. And so the other model that I call it, you get volunteers, which the kids can do and anybody can do, but you need a responsible adult. I call it a captain or a shift manager, shift captain and stuff like that, because there is money involved and you're dealing with money, and at the end of the shift you have to count out the money and put it in the safe. So we have a safe up there so that after they've counted out the starting drawer, that goes in an envelope with certain denominations. If there is some, and if there's not exact denominations that we use for the starting cash, then that's fine. I'll work with it later. So the starting cash goes in separately, and then you count out the cash that you made that night. And we have a tip jar, and tips are included as well. For Rotary, so that, again, we can have more money to disperse. And then we have a credit card machine. So I'm amazed. It's just people come up and they say, "Do you take cards, or is it cash only?" So
It's a square. Right?
Yeah, we take it, and it's just a tap, and it just works great. We do pay a fee for that, but in the long run, any merchant
It's worth it.
any merchant and they. We don't pass on the fees to the client, and some merchants do, depending on the size. So it's a convenient way to pay, and so the sheet that we reconcile with has the cash in addition to the credit card take that night, and then that gets wrapped up in the cash, dropped into the safe, and then typically I pick it up and make the deposit.
Yeah.
Nice.
So a little history back. Before Rotary was running the concession, it was run through BYSA, hockey. And what they did was you signed up. When you went to register your child, you were asked if you want to...
Volunteer.
Yeah, and you get so much knocked off your registration fee. You have to commit to so many nights. And it worked well for quite a few years. The last 3 or 4 years that I was working there, it was falling apart. People just said, "To hell with it, I'm just going to pay the extra money. I don't want to waste my time up there doing
Right.
this."
Or they didn't have the time,
And,
right?
I was out looking for, I'd even talked to George, the hot dog guy.
Yeah.
I was going to find somebody to lease it and run it just during those months. But, it's hard to find somebody to say, "Oh, yeah, I'll just do it for those months."
Yeah.
Is it open during the year? Because I do it for a whole year. And
Right.
so it all started to unravel, and then I reached out to like Eddie and the Rotary guys, and it's worked out fine since.
Yeah, it's hard to. The biggest challenge is knowing when to be open, but I'm getting pretty good at that because you want to be committed to when people are there.
Well, and unless you're going to be there all the time yourself, you need to have volunteers. You need to have the number of volunteers you need.
I got a few things going on, so this is I'm still working 100% with my clients, and then I'm involved with the Mutua. I'm involved with the Spalding High School Foundation, the 501c3 organization that helped put the lights up on the field in 2015. And we're still working on that. We'd like to see an artificial turf field there someday. If Spalding ends up being one of the schools last standing, you know, there's a lot of things going on with education in the state of Vermont. But I think that there are people that feel the same as me, you know, like Jeff said, who want to provide the community service, and it's an easy lift for them. You know, you know, they like people anyway, and they're into the community piece, and so we just need to have responsible individuals that want to volunteer. So this is a plea for volunteers, and again, part of the sign is if people are up there and it's not open, let me know. But I don't think so. The other one that we do, Jeff, is the Barry Figure Skating Club.
Their annual show.
Yeah, and I didn't do it last year. It was my fault. I just didn't have it on the calendar. But we actually have a check for them because we want to support the organizations that use the rink and would have people coming there. And I just haven't. And I think that's the other thing. It's a different person each year that runs it. Dan Huskus is the treasurer of BB8 Back Bear Hockey now, and I think Barry Figure Skating Club has somebody new, and I need to reach out to them. So if you're listening and you know somebody from Barry Figure Skating Club, let them know that Eddie Rousse has a check from Barry Rotary for the Barry Figure Skating Club.
Nice.
It was written in April, so I don't know if it's still good.
My granddaughter's in the figure skating club. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know who's in charge of that. We'll give you a check.
That's a big deal for them at the end of the year. Their big show that they put on.
Yeah.
You know, they do their own scenery and stuff.
It's great.
It's great.
It's a great show, and the stands are packed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'd be nice, you know, when they have an intermission to have the concession open, and I wasn't sure. It's like Joni's dance recital, you know? It's like
right. Yep.
She does that too. Jeez.
Yeah, and they all come around. Yeah. Anything else you think that we should let people know, other than we'll get the information from you and make a solid post so that people know how to reach you?
Yeah. No, I think and let's face it, not everybody's into the ice skating. You know, I have to laugh. So this young man who said, "Yeah, I wanna work," and he was really good about texting me, and
he told me this.
And he goes, "Well, I'm here. Where are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm on my way. I was running a little bit late." So I kind of run into the concession. This was Friday night, and there's a lot of people up there because it's public skating before the Black Bear game. So I'm just kind of looking for a young kid that might be looking for me, and I don't see him. And I'm like, okay. And so I kind of go back outside and see if he's out by the rink or something, and I don't see him. But he's been texting me, so I says, "You told me you're here. I'm here. Where are you?" And he says, "Well, I don't really know where to go." I don't think he'd ever been to the inside the arena at all. So you know, what we take for granted that we know where the concession stand is, you know, he didn't. So I said, "Well, when you come in, there's a separate building. You know, there's a separate entrance to go up into the concession." And he came in. He knows now. But it was fun. He was a good kid, and he did a great job. Beckham is his name.
Nice. Well, hopefully we can get you some more volunteers and keep it open more.
Thanks.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'd love to see you up there, Raylene.
You never know.
You never know.
No.
Once
I'm sure Jeff will talk me into it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If I'm a captain, you know.
Well, you're getting there. One more shift, and we'll get you. we'll get you the designation.
It just brought me back to my A&W days, you know.
Yeah. You know what was? I just wanted to say because we've gotten to know each other a little more over the years. We're not from the same class, but we went to the same school. But it's really fun for me, and I come from a family of 7. I got 3 brothers and 3 sisters. So you were 73?
74.
74. So, but you went to school with my sister Sue.
Sue was a year ahead of me.
She's a year ahead of you. So he was captain of the football team. You know, and you wouldn't know that, but what I meant to say.
What's that mean?
You wouldn't know that unless somebody said it. But the point is you know, we all I think sports is really important
Yeah.
for the growth of people and participation.
I
And-
agree with that. Absolutely.
It kept me grounded.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and it's
I could have been a loose cannon.
well, and everything I do. I've played a lot of sports. Is kind of the concept of team sports. It's like, lead, follow, or get out of the way. So football is a great example because under the Bill Belichick, just do your job.
Yeah.
Okay, you're an offensive tackle. Your job is to block. Just do your job, and we will be successful.
Yeah.
That kind of concept. And so, having a team concept as it relates to anything in life, let alone this volunteer effort, it's like spoonful at a time. I might have a shovel because I'm doing a lot of the work, but a little spoonful from everybody helps out.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we get the schedules so that we can
Yeah.
start posting
Like,
those
you
too.
know,
and
I
keep
told
those up
Eddie,
here.
I'll do a few nights up there.
Yeah.
It's fun. You
Well,
get to
and
see
now
people.
that I know it's heated.
Yeah, it's heated inside, Raylene. It's
Yeah.
not. You're not out by the rink selling. Oh,
Then I know I could tolerate it because I'm a wuss.
yeah. Well, it's cold.
I
in
don't
there.
like this cold
People
stuff
come
at
in
all.
and they're like, it's freezing up.
Put you in a little corner by the pretzel machine and the hot dog machine, so
Yeah.
you'll get the heat from
I'll
that
bring
to
my
keep
Snuggie.
you warm. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that'll work. This god awful thing that my brother-in-law bought for me, but it's amazing. Yeah,
Oh, the snuggle, yes.
yeah, it's called.
You
it's
have
this
one?
huge.
No,
like,
but I've
cape.
seen them. You can't wear the snuggle up at the thing.
It's just a cape. That's
You
all it
won't-
is. It's
you
a
won't-
cape with a hood.
You won't need it in the concession stand.
No, it's
Yeah.
nice and warm in there.
I think, Jeff, we could get a little thing, and Raylene could go out and sell popcorn in the stands and stuff.
No.
Like the old movies here, the cigars, cigarettes.
Good
Hot
lord.
dogs, you got a
Pretzels,
hot
hot
dog.
dogs.
I don't know about you boys. So, a lot of other stuff goes on up at the BOR. So I want to make sure that we mention this before I forget. This Friday, from 9 to 10:30, is Veggie Van Go up at the auditorium,
Yep.
Outside.
BOR area. So
In the parking lot.
yeah, in the parking lot, drive in, drive through. You
Open
can
to everyone.
open to everyone, and you can pick up for a family that may not have transportation. I think you can pick up for yourself and two others, or
I
is
thought
it
it was.
three
I
others?
thought a maximum of 4.
For
That's
families.
when I worked up there. That's
Right.
what it was. Maximum of
So
4.
you can pick up from others. There's no, a bunch of paperwork or anything like that to fill out. You drive up, you roll down your window, you tell them what you need, how many families, and you pop the trunk, and they do the rest. And they prefer that that's the way it was.
Right, you
That
stay
you
in
don't
your
get out of
vehicle.
your car, any of that stuff. You just drive through the line. And so that is happening this Friday from
Who
9 to
provides
10:30
that?
at
Is
the
that through
auditorium.
Vermont Food Bank? Or?
It is
Yes.
through the
Okay.
food bank,
Yes.
and University of Vermont Medical Center is also a part
So
of that.
they must have changed their schedule because it was always the last Friday of
It's
the
the
month.
holiday.
Oh,
So November and
okay.
December, both, Thanksgiving and now Christmas, that has
See,
changed
that's why
things
you
up
get
a
the
little
big
bit.
bucks. You know,
I know
all
it.
these things.
I know these things. But that's what's been
Is this the first one, or is it a
changing.
series?
Oh no,
Oh, no,
they've
every
had
month.
it. This
Every
has been
month.
for quite a few
Years.
years now.
years.
So it's typically the one Friday a month.
Do you
Mm-hmm.
remember back? I think it was during COVID when they did the food thing up at the airport.
Yeah.
So this is an offshoot of that.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, so it's every month. It's smaller.
And it's fresh vegetables,
Yeah.
usually some dairy of sorts, some cheese or milk or both, sometimes juice. There's other stuff as well that you can get up there.
Is it
but
well attended?
it is
Yeah.
very well
Oh, yeah.
attended.
Like you gotta-
and
there's a line.
people really look forward to going and depend on it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I've seen that before. I was in line and I go, "What am I doing here?" Because I thought it was income dependent or whatever. But it's funny you posture it that way. You mentioned because my wife's aunt could use that. Not
Yeah,
not
and they
not
don't
not
ask
because of
any
financially, but
questions.
because of they just preparing food at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't cook anymore. It just
Yeah.
plain old doesn't cook anymore.
It's a lot, but
She
they
loves
don't
green
ask
beans.
questions. They don't. It's
Yeah.
not a matter of your income. Do you work? Because let's face it, a lot of people need help.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everything is just astronomical right now, and so they don't ask any of that. They just ask you to stay in your car and
Be
stay in
patient.
the line.
Be patient,
and
yeah.
be patient.
Yeah.
Is are the volunteers? Where are the volunteers from that do that?
The Vermont Food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know other people step in and help volunteer with it as well. Sometimes some National Guard members or people from the hospital, different places definitely help out, but mostly the food bank.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's just one of the things that is happening. And we have to say the big thing that's happening this week.
Jeepmas?
Well, that's happening, actually. That's happening too. That's a pretty big deal. But tomorrow night at Nelson's is Ladies' Night.
Ladies' night.
So
yeah.
the long anticipated Ladies' Night over at Nelson's, where they shut down only the ladies, there's sales and food and drink and all kinds of great fun over there at Nelson's, and we'll be there, or I'll be there. And we'll go live for that, for sure. This afternoon is the Open Hearts meeting over at the Turning Point Center on Air Street in Barrie. I will be facilitating that meeting, and I ask people to come out if you are a parent, relative, friend, anything of somebody who suffers from addiction, and you just want to share your story and know that you're not by yourself. Join me at 4. It's a really good meeting, and if you can't join in person, we do have the Zoom option, and the meeting ID is 802-479-7373 to sign in for that. So that's this afternoon at 4, but also at 4, and this makes me sad because I can't be everywhere, but the tree lighting in Montpelier is this afternoon at 4. So if anybody wants to be down there for that, and if you go live and you want to share your video or whatever,
Is that on the
that's
State House
awesome.
lawn?
We'll put it out there.
Is it
Yeah,
this one?
on the State House lawn in Montpelier.
Was Michael going down?
He'll be at work still.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah, so that's happening this afternoon at 4 o'clock as well. And there's all kinds of great stuff all the time. It's constant. And just check out the page, check out the Barrie Partnership page. We try to put as much stuff out there as possible so that you don't miss
I've got
anything.
city council tonight.
Yes, you have city council tonight. Anything specific or important
I think.
on the agenda?
I looked at it briefly.
Me too.
I'm pretty sure tonight we will be approving the auditorium project,
Nice.
renovation project.
Does that mean that finally maybe some air conditioning?
Yes. This will be, I believe we'll be approving the contractors.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's like a
And
2.5.
if that goes through, so it's going to be, if I remember right, we will shut down at the end of February or March, and then reopen in the fall. It'll be down for months.
After the basketball tournament.
Yes. After, actually, the last event is the Vermont Trappers Banquet.
Oh, yes.
Which is typically, I think, the last Saturday in March.
Yep. That was a conflict with the auto show one year.
Yes. Yeah.
Which they just had the other night in Milton. And they inducted Ken Squire into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was Muldowney was there, the drag racer. Can't remember her first name.
So the one that we had up at the BOR that year, that was Justin St. Louis
Yes.
put that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did this event in Milton.
And
Shirley Muldowney. She
So
was
the
the
one that
drag
he-
racer.
the one that we had at the BOR just that one year, he took it down to, I think, White River after that.
Well, it's too bad. That was a great venue for
Reasons
that.
I cannot divulge
No,
at
we
this
can't.
point.
Not at liberty to discuss, but that was a good event.
It was. It was really
It would be
good.
nice to to have that. Well, the auditorium that's been. Didn't they get like $2.5 million for that, or how much? What is that? What are you
About
approving to?
$3.5 million from
ARPA?
from, no,
No.
Sanders. It was earmark money.
Yep.
Yep.
That's been a long process, I remember.
Well,
looking at
and
it.
Cody-
because we had to come up with a
Cody is
match.
the one that initiated that, so that's
Cody
how long
Morrison.
ago
Cody
that
Morrison,
was.
that's right.
Yeah.
Cody and I
Yep.
worked our butts off on that, and it finally is going to come to fruition, I hope.
That's nice. Well, didn't you have some Norwich University students help on the?
We did.
the
The
necessity?
engineering and architectural schools came, and they did a bunch of paper. You know, they did some measurements and calculations, gave us, you know, basically not contractor ready, but something that we could turn over to whoever we give the job to, and
Right.
they could use it.
That's valuable.
Yeah, very valuable. Yep.
Oh.
So a nice new and improved auditorium looks like it's going to be happening.
Which is amazing. We've all been waiting for it for so long. If you've ever had to
Fabulous.
go to an event there in the summer, you're so happy that this is happening
Yeah.
because it gets freaking hot,
They,
like bad.
we used to play basketball at noon and have all the doors open. It was
Yeah.
Chris Beltrami and
Yeah.
Yep.
back in the day, it was open for basketball. Yeah, but it's an iconic place and it's worthy of that kind of an investment.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Are they doing a new floor? Or are they just redoing it? Are they
Oh, we'll redo it again.
just shellac it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to rip
Very
it up
light.
and
We,
put-
last time we did it was a very light sanding,
Yeah,
and it came out really nice. We used that all natural floor finish out of Hardwick.
yeah. Oh, it's such a-
Vermont coatings, Vermont natural coatings, something like that. Yeah.
But they'll have new entrances and stairs and steps, and
Yeah.
I think they fixed the boiler a
We're
little
going to
a few while
be
back.
redoing the restrooms because they're not ADA compliant. There's a laundry list of things that are going to be done. When we get closer to it, we'll set something up and
Right,
have
we'll
a
have to-
presentation.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. So we can hear a little more about it, what's going on. Yeah. So we're
We're done.
signing out
Okay.
anyways. We are headed out. But just quick reminder, there are warming shelters open.
Yeah.
Watch out for parking bans and stuff as well, just in case we're going to get the snow that they're talking about. If you haven't signed up for Regroup through the city, you really should, because you'll get those text alerts immediately and you'll know, and then you won't be getting towed.
Yeah, and
So-
you'll know because they'll post the warming shelter, which is the Congregational Church, and it's usually 7 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah, so check that out. Keep watch of the page, keep watch of the city page, and sign up for Regroup. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Stay warm.
No, but I'll see you tomorrow night from Nelson's, live from Nelson's.
Thanks, Raylene.
Have a great